Okay, so we're going to be looking at some leash handling in this lesson. One of the ways that I've found us to be fairly immediately successful in moderating the dog's behaviour is by changing how we're holding the lead and changing how we are moving. Okay, so we're going to be spending a lot of time in the course with this part, because this is the thing that we've got control over. We've got this control over this wonderful thing that nature has given us. Okay, and the more fluently and the more precisely and thoughtfully we move our bodies, that then has an effect on the dog's behaviour. Okay, so first thing is we're going to look at how we're going to hold a leash and why we're going to hold it that way. Now, the way that I ask or I teach people to hold a leash is to have the leash on the back of their wrist like this. Okay, now when we're setting this, we're going to talk about the elbow and the shoulder as well in separate lessons. But we're going to look at this part of where the leash attaches to us. Okay, so leash like this, okay, and then like this. So what we're wanting to do is, if you pull here, if you open your fingers and pull like this, then it shouldn't fall off your wrist. Okay, so not like this. Okay, so basically it sits on the nub of your wrist like this. Okay, so it's a trapeze grip, this is called. It's what trapeze artists use in order to hold themselves up on the rope. Okay, now what we've got with this is, if the dog is pulling here and we hold our leash like this, we are not using lots of strength in order to hold the dog back. So what happens is people generally will hang on for dear life, make their body really tight, and the dog then starts moving them because their body's tight and not relaxed, and we now start getting this movement here, whereas this is the first part that allows us to stop doing those things. Okay, yeah, so we're wanting to have the leash like this. Okay, now if Logan will let me, Logan, shift, that boy, up you get, come on. Okay, so what we want to be doing here is, next thing we're going to be looking at is where our arms are, or how our arms are hanging. Okay, so I'm going to put the leash down for a second, and I want you to just stand naturally like this. Okay, so having this awareness of our own body makes it much easier for us to communicate what we want to the dog, and if we want the dog to be aware of their behaviours, then we need to be aware of ours. Okay, I only think that's fair. Okay, so I want you to stand up, and I want you to just stand with your arms relaxed by your sides. So have your feet shoulder width apart, your arms relaxed by your sides. Now what you'll find here is that your wrists or your hands, the backs of your hands will be facing forwards, or at most they will be facing to the sides, they'll be facing laterally. Okay, but they should be more kind of this way. Okay, so they'll either be straight forward, okay, which is, you need to look at why, look at that, okay, or to the sides, but we shouldn't have any kind of palm showing, if you like. Okay, so it shouldn't be palm showing. All right, so we want to be having your arms relaxed like this. Okay, now when our arms are relaxed like this, we've got no pressure on our biceps. So all I want you to do here is just to feel this, because this is the whys of why we don't hold the leash like this or like that or with a grip, is I want you to just rotate so that your palms are facing forward. And what you should do is you should feel a stretch across your biceps, the front arm muscles here. Okay, all right, now because you can now feel that been a slight stretch, okay, that's uncomfortable. So what you will do to relieve that stretch is you will now start bending your elbow. Okay, so as soon as you bend your elbow, you should feel that stretch release because the muscle's contracting, because the bicep bends your elbow. That's what it's for. Okay, so how that comes into play here. All right, so we know that anytime the elbow is built, we're going to anytime the palm's facing forwards, okay, so if we're holding our leash like this, okay, it makes it difficult for us to keep our arms straight, because your brain will tell you that's uncomfortable, bend your arm. Okay, so we'll hold the leash like this. So by having our arms relaxed, it's going to help keep our biceps relaxed, which is good. Okay, the other thing that your biceps do, as well as bending your elbow, is that they assist in your forearm muscles to make a grip. Okay, so if you're making a grip on that leash, you will want to bend your elbow. okay? Because if you try this again, so what to do is have your arm by your side and then pull here, and you should feel that there'll be a slight stretch here, or you'll feel discomfort here. To relieve the discomfort here, what you'll do is you'll bend your elbow, okay? So make a crushing grip, so make a grip on your leash, have it by your sides, and then if you do this, it should immediately change how that feels, okay? So we don't want to be doing these things. This is why I'm spending some time going through some of the stuff of how the leash is attached to us, okay? So our arm should have it like this, because what happens is as soon as we make a fist and we've got this crushing grip or a grip on the leash, you'll want to bend this, and when you start bending this, if the dog lunges forward, you'll pull back, which we want to avoid because it puts pressure on the dog's neck, okay, and is also more jerky movement, which we don't want, okay? We want nice smooth movement because it will help the dog, okay? So leash on the back of your wrist, okay? Now, if you look at where I am just now with this, okay, so if I was to, my right hand and my left hand shouldn't look that much different, okay? So I've got a light, my fingers are lightly curled on my left hand, and they're also lightly curled on my right hand, okay? So that's how it should look, okay? So if I take the leash, if I just drop the leash here, there shouldn't be very much difference there, all right? Right, so that nice relaxed movement. This helps us keep our shoulders relaxed, okay, keeps our back relaxed, and movement in our hips and our knees and our ankles, okay, so nice soft movement there, okay? Right, now go back onto the grip here. So we've got this part here, okay, and I'll come round, no, need to do it this way, okay? So we've got the grip here. We don't want to be holding it like this for the reasons I've said, because you'll start holding here. So it's just a nice there. This is just to stop your fingers from falling off, sorry, stop the leash from falling off your fingers. That's all that this is for, okay? So it would be relaxed like this, but I'm showing you the detail here, okay? So this is how your fingers are. So just closed, gently closed, okay, but not like this. And the reason, sorry, we can tell if we're too tight there is by seeing how white our knuckles are. Okay, so if our fingers are relaxed, our knuckles should be roughly the same colour as the rest of our skin, our hands, okay? As soon as you start doing this, you'll see a change in the pigmentation, okay? So it'll become lighter because the blood's getting pulled away from the surface, which we don't want, okay? So we want a nice relaxed grip like this, okay? So that's some detail on how we're holding the leash to look at, okay? And we're going to expand on that as we go on.